print, email, Facebook, Twitter, more opinion. Google's Duplex represents a departure from all-female secretarial AI voices. Ever noticed that whenever you hear an automated voice, it's female? Perhaps it only twigged this week, when we heard Google's new artificial intelligence system, Duplex, for the first time. The digital assistant's ability to fluently make table bookings and hairdressing appointments with a voice that seemed indistinguishable from a human voice was impressive enough. Media player, space to play, M to mute, left and right to seek, sound bites of the AI pausing to utter ums and ums while responding aptly to complex and colloquial dialogue provided a thrilling, if not slightly eerie, view of the future of digital assistants. It was perhaps the maleness of Duplex's human-like voice, rather than its humanness, that was most fascinating and groundbreaking. Across the half-dozen calls made to small businesses, Duplex alternated between male and female voices, while maintaining a similar intonation and manner of speech. The last Google AI, Google Assistant, only received the option for a male voice in October, so this is a significant deviation from feminized digital assistants, a tradition stretching back as far as the mid-20th century. A history of feminized digital assistants Siri, Alexa, Cortana, Echo and their foremothers, along with essentially every pre-recorded corporate voice message, were deliberately allocated female voices. This began with the first known example of a language processing program, ELIZA, created by computer scientist Joseph Weizenbaum in the mid-1960s. You can chat to a JavaScript version of her here. ELIZA was originally designed by Weizenbaum to illustrate the superficiality of conversation between man and machine, attempting to prove that humans could never conduct emotionally satisfactory discussions with computer programs. His creation, however, went on to have the opposite effect, with Weizenbaum recording in his book, Computer Power and Human Reason, From Judgment to Calculation, that, to his horror, even his own secretary had begun to attribute genuine human feelings to the program. ELIZA eventually went on to act as a sort of digital psychotherapist, using pattern matching rules in her script to allow her to answer simple questions regarding mental and psychological health, making her the first iteration of what we know today as a chatbot. Multiple versions of ELIZA continued to evolve from chatbots to chat rooms, until, in late 2011, Siri made our smartphones her home. Though ELIZA and Siri differed in innumerable ways, there was one aspect of the program that remained unchanged across the half-century that separated them: their gender expression. Gendered AIs today, despite the fact that the plethora of feminized digital assistants obviously lack physical bodies, they themselves embody the notion of what it is to be an assistant: helpful, efficient, subservient, female. It is therefore difficult to believe the domestic labor that most digital assistants perform is not deliberately gendered. This can be seen in detail programming from the tone of voice, to the very words they use. According to psychologist James W. Pennebaker, a linguistic tool as simple as the use of pronouns can indicate the gender and social status of a person, or in this case, an AI. The data consistently show that women use I words, I, me, my, about 12% more often than men, he says. Pennebaker's research concludes that the use of pronouns, such as I, is indicative of an inferior social standing, insinuating upon the speaker an inferred subordinate status. Digital assistants such as Siri and Alexa are often inclined to use these pronouns, especially when admitting fault. I'm sorry, I don't think I understand. It is important for developers of verbal user interfaces to know about these findings because it is in their hands whether AI personalities perpetuate these differences in language use. Replicating these patterns in the language of AIs might serve to perpetuate gender inequalities in society and in the new forms of human-machine relationships that are emerging today, said Pennebaker. Amazon, however, argues that Alexa's programming prioritized non-gender specific characteristics. When we developed Alexa's personality, we wanted her to have a lot of attributes we value at Amazon, like being smart, helpful, and humble, while having some fun, too. These attributes aren't specific to any one gender, rather traits we value in all people, a spokesperson for the company told The Atlantic. #MeToo, Siri. Despite what developers might claim their intentions are, feminized digital assistants are subjected to a disturbing degree of sexual harassment from users. Deborah Harrison, a writer for Cortana's Key Script, spoke to her reservations about the potential of perpetuating sexist norms at the 2016 Virtual Assistant Summit. According to Harrison, a large degree of early queries put to Cortana were regarding her sex life or sexual expression. "There's a legacy of what women are expected to be like in an assistant role," she said. "We wanted to be really careful that Cortana is not subservient in a way that sets up a dynamic that we didn't want to perpetuate socially. We are in a position to lay the groundwork for what comes after us." It appears that Cortana was not alone in her fight against sexual harassment. In both Alexa and Siri's earlier stages, when sexually explicit or misogynistic phrases were put to them, they would often reply with expressions such as "if I could blush, I would," or "well, I'm sorry about that." Thorough breakdown of each AI's generated response can be found here. In light of this, a petition was circulated urging Apple and Amazon to program their digital assistants to push back against sexist comments, rather than deferring or even appearing grateful for the remarks. In 2017, Amazon updated Alexa with a new disengage mode that would disallow Alexa from replying to sexist comments at all. However, whether silencing a female AI in response to sexual harassment is at all a step in the right direction is just as questionable. Can Duplex break sexist attitudes? What's so exciting about Duplex? With the unveiling of Duplex and its ability to express itself in both male and female cadences, it is very possible that we could be seeing a slow turnaround of the perennially female secretarial AI. By reversing the stereotypes surrounding traditionally feminized domestic labor in our AIs, it could be possible break down the cycle of reinforcement that sexist attitudes have enjoyed in previous versions of digital assistants. It's disheartening that it's necessary, but perhaps by engaging with Alex instead of Alexa, or Eli instead of Eliza, consumers can begin to understand that our interactions with household technology have just as much of an effect on perceived social norms as any of our other relationships. Because if Siri could blush, she wouldn't. Eden Faithful is a freelance journalist who completed her honors thesis on the influence and perceptions of feminized technology. Print email